Right, Danny Flexen for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten cruiserweight Jordan Thompson. Jordan, how you doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad yourself.
Yeah, good. Under the circumstances, it's
I know.
lovely day. I've never been more thankful to have a garden in my life.
I was just saying that to someone. I said, not everyone has a garden, man. These times are tough times ahead.
Yeah, no, it's good. And wherever I live as well, the parks and stuff are pretty much deserted. So
This is
it's
the thing.
good. It's
Yeah.
not like London, so it's good.
No, I think they're clamping down on the park thing now as well a little
Yeah.
bit. Because over the back from me, there's a park, and there's a couple of people today getting questioned and pulled over and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, man. So we'll see.
Are you in West London?
Yeah, I'm in West London. Yeah, like Chiswick, Hammersmith.
How are you kind of filling your time at the moment? Because obviously you can't go to your gym to train. You were PTing,
No,
which you can't do.
can't do. I mean, see, the thing with me is as well, my PT, like, I've got a couple of friends of mine who are PTs, and they're actually doing like the PTing over Zoom. But with me, like, my main PTs, they're all boxing, so like, you can't hold pads over camera, and
No.
I wouldn't expect, put it this way, if someone tried to charge me to make them shadow box over a Zoom video for an hour, I wouldn't be happy still. So I'm just.
I hope your colleagues don't see this.
No, I don't. They will do, but it's all right. But
No,
no.
I'm joking.
But it is what it is, man. I'm just keeping busy. I've got a bit of online studying, so I'm doing about 3-4 hours a day on that. To be fair, so that's keeping my mind sharp and active. I'm doing a little bit of reading, but every time I read, I fall asleep. So I'm sleeping a lot, but that's just making me more tired as well. But no, I mean, I'm a bit of a weirdo. I'm an extrovert in some respects, and I'm an introvert in some respects. So this kind of suits me. I'm not too fussed about it. To be fair, I don't mind keeping myself to myself. It don't really faze me.
As we talked about before, you've had a bit of a stop-start career, albeit successful so far. So how frustrating is this that it's another delay, but through no fault of your own?
I'm used to it now. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm accustomed to it. No. I mean, it is frustrating because obviously, again, I just got some more momentum with obviously going out to Vegas and sparring one of the greatest heavyweights in the world and of all time, arguably. And obviously, I've come back and then been hit with this. But like you said, not of any doing of my own. So I guess that's one positive. But again, you just got to try and look for the positives in every sort of situation you're kind of presented with. And it's a tough one, this one, because it's a pretty serious one, but obviously it just gives us all time to self-reflect and give it like a good look on our lives and see where we're at, see where we're going right, see where we're going wrong. And obviously as well, people who are with the family, like I think people now are spending more time with their family than they ever have done. So I mean, you've got to look for the positives. I think it's a good thing. You've got people who don't actually train that much now training a lot at the home because they see all the other people training at home. So I think it can be a good thing. So I don't know, we just got to try and stay positive and stay busy and active, man.
You mentioned your time in the US then. Obviously, you went over to spar with Tyson Fury ahead of the rematch with Deontay Wilder. Just tell us how that came about.
That was it happened pretty quick. I think they originally wanted Hrgovic, and they got into my management, the Sauerlands, and the Sauerlands, actually, they couldn't get Hrgovic, so they said, what about Jordan Thompson? He's 6'7", about the same weight as him. And they ended up saying, yeah, one of Fury's guys, Tim, got in contact with me. And then within about 4 or 5 days, I was on a flight to Vegas. It was literally like, boom, got the text, and then a couple of days later, I was off. And that was just a crazy experience. I didn't actually believe I was going until I was on the plane. It was mad, but no, it was an unbelievable experience, man. So I was very grateful for that opportunity that I got given.
And you're originally from Manchester, of course. Had you met Tyson Fury before?
Yeah, I met Tyson Fury a couple of times. He was actually at my comeback fight, which was a few months prior. I think that was at the charity event, Frank Warren's charity event. He was there.
Yeah.
And I met him a couple of times in the gyms and stuff, and even around Manchester. I've seen his family and his cousins around quite a lot, and I know them quite well. So we knew of each other. We were familiar with each other. So I think that made it all the better as well, to be fair, when I got there.
And how long were you out there with him for?
6 weeks altogether. 6 weeks. So it's a hell of a time, man, for sure.
And what was it? Just kind of training and living alongside him as well as sparring, or did you spar other people while you were there? How did it work out?
No, we didn't actually. They didn't actually want us to spar any of the others while we were over there. I think they said it was one of us. I mean, God forbid, one of us injured each other, or one of us give each other a cut or something like that. Like, just not good for business kind of thing. So it made sense, to be fair. But we got a good amount of rounds, and I think I must have done about 30 plus rounds with him altogether, in and around 30 rounds, which was just invaluable stuff, man. Like, the stuff I learned from there, I probably learned more in that 6 weeks than I have in my 10 professional fights. So that says a lot, man.
How much of that kind of learning curve was within sparring, and how much of it was just training and seeing how he worked alongside you?
For me, I'm one of them. I'm a guy who can watch and learn. So I'm a very observant individual. So I picked up a lot of behavioural aspects of his training and his aura, that, and how he held himself and how he conducted himself around the gym and around people, and how he adapted to his surrounding and his circumstances. He's a very smart, calculated individual. He's a deep guy as well. Like, we had some good conversations with him and some really good, like, open-minded conversations with him. And he's a deep man. Like, he gave a good insight to himself. He gave more than a good account of himself in the ring and out the ring. And what another good thing was is that he gave some good feedback as well. Like, he gave some good positive criticism, constructive criticism, which is what you need as an up-and-coming fighter, especially to hear it coming from someone like that. It's second to none as well. So, no, it was good. And then obviously you've got the trainers that were in the gym as well. You got Sugar Hill and then Andy Lee. It's like, you're just talking some crazy experience around you. So, no, it's second to none stuff, man.
You talked about the constructive criticism that Fury offered. If you could pick one thing out that will stay with you, that you think will help improve you, what would it be?
I mean, there was only one thing, to be fair, that he himself actually criticised me about, and all he said, listen, you know what, Joe, he said, you've got it all there, but for me, it's just mentally, I need to know, like, there's little things where I need to pick up on. It's like believing in myself, knowing what I've got. Because, I mean, all I kept on getting told is, you don't know what you got, man. Like, you don't know what you got. So I think it's just that. But again, like, you learn on the job. I am still a raw novice in the grand scheme of things. I'm a baby. I'm learning on the job, but I enjoy it, and I just believe in myself. Like, I wouldn't write me off against any single professional boxer out there. So it's a tough one. But again, it's finding that balance, which I think is the important thing for a lot of up and coming fighters. Like me, I'm just on the verge of obviously challenging for that next level. So. It was crazy, and he was just saying, like, it's just like knowing when to throw certain shots, knowing when to make that move, knowing when not to, and just having belief in the shots that you're throwing and stuff like that. So it's minor things, to be honest, mate. But it was good to hear it from someone like that, obviously.
And a twofold question about the sparring itself. When you were actually up there with him at close quarters, what impressed you the most? And what did the sparring sessions tell you about how good you are?
I'd say what impressed me the most with him was his just his output. To be fair, I'll tell you that. Like, in that camp anyway, for me, because obviously, like, everyone knows him. Like, obviously, it's hard to hit. Right? Don't get me wrong, he was very hard to hit, but his work rate in that camp. I mean, I'm sure the others will tell you as well if you spoke to him. He was throwing a lot of punches for a man 6-7 foot and 19.5 stone. His work rate was crazy, to be fair. So that impressed me a lot, because it was something that I wasn't expecting as well, to be quite frank with you. I was more expecting the little jabs and the one shot, 1-2s and a little uppercut spinning off and stuff like that, which he did. But what impressed me was the work rate which he was working at, which was crazy. And I think that was the standout thing for me, for sure.
And what did it tell you about how good you are, what level you're at?
I mean, it boosted my confidence massively. And as well, for me, like, you got to think at the time, I mean, on the trip, I was probably no heavier than 15.2, 15.4 max. So to be in there with someone 4 stone more than me and more than, I mean, I gave a really good account of myself. He said that, everyone from the gym said that. I got really good feedback from the coaches as well, which gave me some confidence and some good tips, which I'm still now, like, I've taken away from it. I'm still watching certain fighters and certain videos and stuff like that. So I'm constantly learning, and I think for sure, like, my confidence level, it's gone sky high, just from even being in the ring with him and sharing those rounds with him. Like, the amount I've learned and the confidence I've taken away from it's been crazy, man.
Do you think you'll be invited back for fight number 3, or have you already been invited back for fight number 3?
I mean, I've heard as much, yeah. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be there for the third camp. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! That's only going to help your development, isn't it?
This is what I'm saying. I mean, it's second time. I think for me, especially, like, he's a big man. Like, he's a big, obviously big heavyweight. He can be whatever, but he's big for his weight. He's a tall, big man, and as am I for my weight. So the stuff which I'm picking up off him, which I can try and incorporate into my game, second to none, man. Like I say. Any
chance of getting on the undercard for the third one?
Flipping it. Highly doubt that, but you never know.
Watching this, Tyson.
Yeah,
or Bob Arum or Frank Warren.
Yeah, I'll have to speak to someone. No, I'm not sure how that'll get worked out, but I don't know. I mean, I was just happy to even be able to watch the last fight. I was happy to be there, because I'm one of them. I don't usually enjoy watching, like, other shows and stuff like that, unless it's someone I know boxing or someone who I'm really a fan of. But that fight there, after being in the camp, I couldn't even put into words what I was feeling on the actual fight night. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy because for me as well, it's funny because I'd always said, like, my two favorite heavyweights were Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. That was a fact, just because they're probably the most outspoken and like they're real, they're down to earth. Obviously, you've got a few others as well, but I'd say those two are my favorite, and in the style of fighting and everything, like, I enjoyed it, and they were similar to me, both tall, rangy. So it was a hell of a fight, man. But to be involved in the camp and actually be around Tyson and get to know him, and then see him go and put to show what he'd been saying all camp, like, it was crazy. Because he'd literally been talking what he was going to do to him in the camp, and then we're like, it sounds good, but I was thinking, he's going to jab him, he's going to do this, and then as the camp went on, I started thinking to myself, I thought, you know what, he's gonna beat this guy up, like, he's gonna stop him, and he did exactly that. It was crazy. I wasn't expecting it in that fashion, though. I can't lie.
With everything up in the air at the moment, obviously, you're going to go out for sparring. The Fury fight set for, I think, October the 3rd. Yeah. So that camp will start in the summer. How do you go about planning your own next move in terms of, a fight date, when you go into camp as well? Because everything's just so unknown.
Right now, you'd be, even looking at that as a date, it's all up in the air. Right now, you just got to stay ready. Stay ready for whatever. We could be back on the end of this year, fingers crossed. Obviously, I think I speak for all boxers when I say we want to get back out there ASAP. But, realistically, if we're looking at the grand scheme of things, I don't think we're looking like anything until this Christmas time or start of next year. So right now, I just think it's about keeping your mind and your body as active as you can, and just keeping positive, keeping your vibrations high and stuff like that. So we just got to stay focused, man. It's tough, but it's got to be done. We've got no choice, literally.
Well, you're fresh. That's the best thing, I think.
Exactly. That's for sure.
And just before I let you go, just to, without prying too much, are you okay kind of financially if this goes on for a long time? Have you got sponsors and stuff? Been asking a lot of people about this side of things.
No, to be honest, no. But, I've got a loving family. I've got some great friends who are helping me out with, like, food and stuff like that. I'm learning different dishes to cook because I got bored of cooking. Yeah. I was cooking the same thing. Like, my mum's taught me a couple of the specials, and I just keep rinsing them out, bro. So I'm running out. I don't want to spoil the specials, so I'm having it that much. But no, I got a good circle of people around me, so I'm okay. But obviously, like, the income isn't what it used to be. That's for sure. But the thing for me is, I try and just say, like, even the life that you're living now is someone else's dream. So at a time like this, you just got to be humble, man. Because right now, as soon as the lockdown got announced, I was thinking to myself, flipping it, like, we're complaining, people like us, but what about people in, like, domestic, like, abusive relationships and stuff like that, and stuff for people who are being abused, and people, like, it's just crazy. Like, some of the situations that I'll be out there right now, which is just mad. So you just got to be grateful, be humble, and try and enjoy the lockdown, man. Somehow, some way, somehow.
Brilliant. Well, it's good to end on an inspiring message.
100%. I try my best.
No, appreciate it. It's really good to speak to you again.
You too, Danny, mate. Good seeing you again, man.
Hopefully we can do it in person next time, whenever that might be.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. Listen, man, stay safe. Have a good one, yeah?
And you, mate. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.